boys and girls, have we got a show for you today? Today we're talking about the movie Unbroken. It's by Angelina Jolie. It's the first. Is it one of her first films directed by her? Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know.
I believe
I,
so.
that's probably
Don't
correct.
quote
I mean,
me
I
on that, but I
I
think it's
haven't
the
I
first
haven't
one.
seen another one.
But also this was Austin's pick this week. Next week we'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. But it's gonna be another anime, and I know you guys like the animes. So
You kids like the
like the
animes?
yeah,
The
they like
animes and the video
animes.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie, man. I have some conflicting thoughts about it, and I really don't want to offend anyone with it. So I kind of want to hear your guys' take on it first because I had a very strong reaction to this movie, I guess.
I liked it. That's all I got
Okay.
right now. Um, I piece. Let's talk about this movie in parts because there are definite parts to this movie. So the first part is
Yeah.
his past, the flashbacks, the Olympics, all of his past, and then the second
Hmm.
part I would define as like the boat, where the Air Force, the boat, and the crash and all that. So we're gonna talk about it
Yeah.
probably in pieces or parts. So where do we want to start? Let's start with his past because let's just
Well,
go from past to most present.
I kind of wanted to talk about the structure in general because the structure of this movie was kind of what I had like a problem with. Like the one big thing I had a problem with. Um it doesn't like it doesn't have like it doesn't have three acts. It doesn't have like a number. I don't know how to explain it. Like you have the flashback part and the beginning part, and then you have like the second act. You have like basically the entire him on the boat, him in Japan. That whole thing made up like 75% of the movie, which I thought it was like really well written. That part was, but plot wise, I felt it kind of like dragged on way too long. Like I didn't think this movie had a proper ending at all, really.
Um, I am. I disagree. I think it has a good ending. Um, it it ends sort of in a way like a cliffhanger, but I don't think. I think they meant to try to close it out in a way so that they don't have to make a sequel. But they did end with
Uh,
like some sort of cliffhanger. I did not
I
like
don't
that.
know, not really.
Well,
I mean,
well,
it was like I felt like they I felt like they didn't really follow through on the things that they initially set up in the first part of the movie, and so to compensate for that, the way it ended was very it was very generic, very stereotypical. Um like it's like it and it literally I predicted it too. It was like and I'm not trying to shit on this movie because I actually liked most of this movie, but the ending was like it was basically like and then everybody had a happy ending and then you've seen this 5 million times and like what I thought the movie was going for and what the movie set up like what the main thing it set up right in the beginning was like him being a runner, right? They and this kind of relationship with him and his brother and relationship with him and religion and his brother and there's this idea of a moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory, right? So
Mm.
it's like that part when they were on the boat, I was like, okay, so this is his metaphorical moment of pain, right? And then it's gonna go back into the third act, and it's gonna have this really thematically intact, like come around where everything kind of makes sense. But then they didn't do that, and they went into like the Japanese camp thing, which I actually liked. I liked that entire part, writing wise. I thought they had some really good concepts and some really good characters and things they did there, but I feel like it dragged on much too long, and to the point where it kind of out like lived the third act, which was like the last maybe 5 minutes of the movie. So you have like an hour and a half basically of this what I would call the moment of pain is like an hour and a half, and then you have like 5 to 10 minutes of like happy kind of just, I don't know, it feels really forced at the end, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It didn't really come back for me and kind of, make me feel very much at the end.
Mm.
Yeah. So I somewhat agree with what you said. But yeah, I get that you're not trying to shit on the movie also. But I'm just trying to think of what I want to talk about. There's a lot of good in this movie, but some of the flashbacks are a little dull. Some of the flashbacks
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think needed to be there.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, there were definitely some that were unnecessary, I think. I think it has a lot of good ideas. I really think it has a lot of good ideas that it has, and then it kind of chooses some to stick with through the end, and then kind of sets others to the side. Like for example, something that I really latched onto in the beginning of the movie was the idea of Louis, or was his name Louis or Louis? Was it Louis? It was Louis, right?
Yeah. Yep, Louis.
Okay, so Louis, and like it shows him at the Olympics. It shows him how he gets into running, right, and track and whatever, and it kind of has this idea where his brother is kind of his anchor, right? His brother is the thing that when he thinks of, or when he sees, when he gets this motivation from his brother, it's like able to propel him past his normal limits. And I was like, okay, so this is really good. This is definitely going to be something that comes back around, and it did a little bit, but it didn't really, I don't know. Like I said, it kind of like shoehorned it in there a little bit. I feel like towards the end, because I feel like at some point it got to the point where it's like, okay, we're inside the camp, we're doing all these really interesting scenes, but how are we going to bring it back? How are we going to reel it back in? I feel like it never really reeled it back in with a lot of its ideas. And there's also the religious aspect of this movie, which I thought was really interesting too. There's a lot of symbolism of faith and whatnot, and something that I actually think followed through very well at the end was when Watanabe, the fucking asshole guy,
The bird?
tells Louis to raise the thing above his head and hold it. I thought that was kind of a symbol of, well, it's a symbol of Louis's conviction, but it's also kind of like a religious symbol in a way.
It's like Jesus
because it's
carrying
like
a cross.
his, him exercising his conviction and his faith. I don't know, kind of a hard way to explain it, but
Yeah, there was a lot of good things about this movie. Cinematography's good.
Oh, you guys there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think my headphones may have cut out.
Oh well.
Let me try to fix.
He did.
Should I pause on
No,
my
you can go
little?
ahead.
Yeah.
Go
So.
ahead. Yeah. So.
Oh.
Oh, sorry guys. Sorry, I got it. My headphones stopped working.
Do you?
Sorry.
Do you?
I got. Wait. Okay.
There's an
Is it better
echo.
now?
Now
Okay,
there's
is it
no
better
echo.
now?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
As long
Okay,
as you
okay.
can hear
Sorry
us,
about
we
that.
didn't have a problem. We didn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did not hear you. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll run by it again. I feel like the cinematography was pretty good. The transitions of like scenes and stuff, like when Louis was a little kid, and then he turns into this this runner for his school and stuff, and then the screenplay is good. The sets look amazing. They put in a lot of work. I had to put in a lot of CGI work too. The costume department's doing good in this one. This is a movie that's set up for success. Watching it, it was kind of difficult at the beginning. It didn't really pick up immediately, then grab me, It wasn't until later when we were getting his when he's in, excuse me, when he's in the military, then his plane crashes. So when that happens, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, now I'm excuse me, now I'm a little hooked. And I it did a lot of good things. What I really liked about this movie, you don't get a lot of war movies that do this, but it actually showed both the both sides. It's not just showing you these American people are suffering. It's the one scene where the Americans, or the United Forces, they're bombing that the area right outside that camp, that little prison camp where they kept those Americans, right? And and then they're next morning they're like, all right, we're gonna move you to a different prison. But there's a scene there when they're walking out and they're going back into the city to go to the other prison. Got to cut through the city or whatever. They see all this carnage, and it's on. War is a terrible thing because both sides there's so much loss and there's really no point to it, right?
Yeah.
So
it's the people that aren't as privileged and as able to, the people that the people that are the most are the people that get hurt the most, and it definitely, I agree. I think all good war movies have an emphasis on that, or at least all good war movies that are focusing on the human aspect of it usually have a pretty good, representation of the totality of it. In this movie, I actually agree. Yeah, I think it did something really good with that.
You know what I liked about this movie?
Didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
What I really liked about this movie was its focus wasn't on the war or the action the entire time. It was focused on the people and the personalities of these people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
that was really good character development.
Some of Saving Private Ryan is a lot of action. It's a lot of guns, just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Explosions and stuff. But this one's just based. You see the plane shooting and stuff, and then some people die. But that's like at the beginning, and then it never really goes back to that.
No. Yeah. It's like the little things. It focuses on the little things. Like it's not the combat. It's like it's the torch, not the torture, well, somewhat the torture, but it's like the moments of quiet contemplation and the moments of people who are like from two completely different like sides of the world interacting in this just really shitty situation, and that's one thing I also wanted to talk about is Louis as a character. I personally respect characters that have a lot of conviction. I think it's something that is really interesting to look at, because it's such a, I don't like people or characters with conviction. It's like they have something that they value more than anything. So it's like an anchor. It's like an emotional anchor, And I really felt that with Louis, and I felt like they did him justice with this character development there. And I don't know, a lot of these characters in this movie are really good. Like, for me, this is okay. So my favorite scene, I think, is when they're on the raft and they're looking up at the sky, and I think the other guy's name is Phil, and Louis asks him, he's like, oh, so, do you think God created the stars or whatever? And then they're talking about just like, why are we here? That whole thing. I was like, I thought that scene was fucking fantastic. And when I saw that, I was like, this movie is going to be so good. And it was. I mean, honestly, this is a good movie. I don't know. It's just those quiet moments, those are the things you really latch onto, not like the fucking adrenaline pumping bullshit. It doesn't really have that, I think some lines of dialogue were really corny though. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, look back at what we watched last week, the Gretel and Hansel, and compare it to this week's movie. Gretel and Hansel's at the bottom of the barrel, and Unbroken's all the way up at the top. They're very different.
This is like this to Hansel and Gretel is like what The Godfather is to like The Room. That's like the scale of difference here.
Yeah. My favorite part actually from the movie is at the end, kind of like when they're all walking to the river and they're expecting to get shot and killed and then just dumped in the river to float away, like their lifeless bodies will just float away. But that's what I really got from that, was like
I'll be right back.
they just all
Okay.
lose hope at the same time.
Mm.
And I think that was, you could see it on some of their faces. As the translator for the Japanese, he was translating and said, everyone has to bathe in the river. And then they all just slowly walk to the river expecting to get shot because they think they lost the war. And then
But you know what?
What?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say about that scene. I didn't hate it, but I thought it was like really obvious what was gonna happen. You know? Like I was like, okay, so I know what's gonna happen, right? They're gonna go in there and then they're gonna think they're gonna die, and then it's like they're not gonna die. And the movie made it very like it does that thing, right, where movies kind of become manipulative with the music and they the director can make characters act a certain way that goes against the actual situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just how to build suspense basically. I thought that it was really predictable, and so the payoff just wasn't there for me for that particular scene, I think.
Mm-hmm. Wait, real quick.
What were
Let
you?
me
What were
ask
you?
Austin. Are
Mhm.
those Cocoa Puffs or there's something
This is-
chocolatey?
Hold on, I gotta go fucking look at the bag.
You don't remember? Oh, what did I pour in my bowl this morning? Did you also see that he's drinking a glass of chocolate milk with the chocolate cereal that will just happen to produce chocolate milk?
I have my camera off, but I can't. Well, I don't have your guys' cameras on, but I'm kind of getting a little audio explanation here.
What are they?
They're called Cocoa Dino Bites. It's it's like some kind of off-brand cereal, and I don't know why it's called Dino Bites. There's nothing
They're
you
not
fucking
shaped like dinosaurs?
No, not at all. What kind of
Bruh.
bullshit is that?
It's so goofy though. I'm genuinely glad that they're called that, and that they're not actually
Cocoa
dinosaurs.
Dino Bites.
Hey, do
Yeah,
you mind raising your
good.
glass of chocolate milk as well? He's got a glass of chocolate milk in a Coca-Cola glass.
That's right.
That's bold.
Double him in it on
The chocolate milk. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
I haven't-
like
I haven't
chocolate
had-
cereal.
I haven't had cereal in so long. This is the only cereal that I can eat though, because like other cereals just don't do it for me.
What about Fruity Pebbles? You're not a Fruity Pebbles guy?
Hmm. I think if I had to have any other cereal like besides like a chocolate based one, and I hate Cocoa Puffs and I hate like all that other shit. Like I only like the off brand like cocoa shit because like it's it's a lot smaller, it's a lot easier to chew, just swallow. Obviously, I like it, right? But if I had to choose any other cereal and it would be like on brand, it would probably be like Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms
Okay.
got like a special place in my heart, I think.
That's a respectable choice, I'd say. Lucky Charms is pretty good, I think. But also, I'm a fucking pig who will eat anything, so maybe I don't know.
Right, that's why I have
I'm similar.
that's why
I like Lucky Charms as more of like a snack. I don't put milk with it. I'll just eat it like from the bag or
okay.
something as like a snack. Just because I like the marshmallows when they're dry. I don't know why. But I
It's
feel
okay.
like the actual charms in Lucky Charms, like the little cereal bites, are kind of cardboard.
Right.
They're not as good,
Yeah,
but they're good pairing. Super sweet
Was-
versus super cardboardy.
What is it? Fucking yeah. Just to make sure that you don't like their cereal too much. But then there would be a monopoly, and that would be not good.
Oops,
Monopoly
all
illegal.
marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was it called? Shit. What was I getting at? Oh yeah, it's okay. I'm a fat ass too. There's a reason why there's a straw in my chalky milk. Because if I didn't have a straw in my chalky milk right now, it'd be gone already. And it's almost gone, and there's a straw in it.
God damn it. It's okay. It's your free will. You can
Right.
fucking go ham if you want.
Look, if I die
Bruh.
from too much chalky milk, I want that to be in the paper. That's the way I want to go out.
I love how you
It's a
call
pretty
it
badass
chalky
way to
milk.
die. Who doesn't call it chalky
Yeah, who
milk?
doesn't call it chalky milk? Chalky milk is the new thing, man. You gotta get with it.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I don't drink chocolate
Come
milk that
on,
often. Or chalky milk. So,
But yeah,
Is strawberry milk from hell?
maybe. I never
feel
really
like
thought
it's
about it that way.
I feel like that's a sugar blast. That's like, I don't know.
we'll also compare how
But who gives a
strawberry-
fuck about how much sugar, really?
Well, compare strawberry syrup to chocolate syrup. The thickness is completely different. Strawberry syrup just pours out. It's almost like a straight up liquid, and then chocolate syrup comes out
Yeah.
very slow and it's very thick.
Yeah. Well,
Let's get back to the movie, shall we?
we should probably get back to the movie. Yeah. I did. Okay, I had another thing I wanted to say. That the relationship between Watanabe and Louis, I thought was pretty good because it's like, well, he kind of explained. Watanabe kind of explained my thoughts on it in the movie because he was like, I could tell that when I saw you, you were gonna be my friend. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, they're both very stubborn and they both have like very high conviction, I guess. So they kind of like conflict with each other in a like almost like a rivalry. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, did
but I
you
also
also-
thought the way they concluded his. Oh, go ahead.
If you look closely, my brother pointed it out to me. When he's at the Olympics, he looks at the Japanese team, and I think it's Watanabe or the Bird. I think the Bird is also on the other Olympic team that he looks at, the Japanese team.
I was gonna
Well, if
ask
it
you guys that
is-
because I have no idea.
'Cause I think the Bird is actually on that team. I'm gonna call him
I'm
the
gonna-
Bird. It's a little hard
I'm
to
gonna
say
look up the clip.
Watanabe, but
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
think
look up the
it's
clip and make sure.
Bird, who he's looking at, and then that's why when he shows up later in his little camp, he kind of is kind of taken back by him, and he focuses all of his energy on Louis at that one moment.
I mean, if it is like that, then that's a really good detail, and I appreciate it even more. If not, what I kind of thought, like what I thought when I saw that was just kind of like the grandeur of it all, right? Because it's like they're in Germany, you have like you cut and you see this fucking swastika, and you have like this group of Japanese people, and it's like, holy shit, this is like World War II era. That's kind of what I saw it as, But if it is Watanabe, then that's just fucking cool. That's a nice little thing to set there
And if it is, it kind of
in
shows
motion.
how
But
small our world
if it is, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. It's like everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, right? So it's like, I don't know. It is a small world.
Did you find
but-
it, Austin?
Well, I'm watching it right now, and it won't say, but I'm just gonna like try and look at his face really good. Because they show this guy before the Bird, don't they?
Yeah, they show the Japanese team.
Yeah.
Is it him? He's got a very pointy nose, hence the Bird. Hence why he's called the Bird.
Oh, I didn't even get that. Wait, no, I thought he was called the Bird because he listens or something. That's what they said, right?
I thought he was the Bird because he has a pointy nose.
Oh my god.
It
might
could
be both.
Fucking...
It could
Yeah,
be
it
both.
could be both. Why
He
can't
looks like
it be both?
his nose looks like a straight up beak because it's like really pointy.
I don't know, but I'm
I didn't
looking
even
at
notice that.
when I looked up the Bird. There's these YouTube videos like there's Louis Zamperini. He's like at a baseball stadium, and he's wrote a letter to the Bird, and then there's other YouTube video that's the bird, and it's the Watanabe interview on him. So this is really cool. I'll have to watch these later because
Yeah, that's a
I know
rabbit hole
it's based off the true story.
Well, another key thing.
Oh yeah, that's
about
another
this...
thing too.
Oh. Do you want to go first?
Go ahead. I was gonna go off on a whole
was just gonna
tangent.
say,
I was gonna go off on a whole tangent. So
I was gonna say that this is the first movie I've ever seen that actually says a true story, not based on a true story or kind of like that.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the first one where it's like it says that it's like straight up fact. Usually you get those based on a true stories and stuff, and they change stuff.
Yeah.
But let's be honest though. Like, let's be real. There's no way that it's 100% completely and utterly true with no significant alteration.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like it's a little bit discourteous to not say based on a true story. I feel like it's manipulative. I feel like it's kind of like we're going to say true story so that the audience is like, wow, this is really a true story. This is crazy.
Have you ever seen
that's kind
Fargo?
of what I get.
What?
I haven't,
seen
but I've heard
Fargo?
it's great.
Fargo does
I
that.
haven't seen it.
Fargo says based on a true story. None of it's based on a true story. It's just to get people in the seats in the theater. They straight up lie to the audience.
See, that's the thing.
Based on a true story.
That's what they do.
Just kidding.
Gotcha.
Get pranked. Oh, baby, you just got pranked.
Yes.
That's my filthy Frank impression. You guys got.
That gave me like flashbacks. I'm looking at like the weirdest shit right now at my window. I had a thought, but I got distracted. There's like people, like on the like there's like people with rainbow colored hair wearing like tutus, and it's like it's really weird. But I mean, it's cool. They're just vibing. They're outside my fucking window.
That's pretty. I
don't know. I'm downtown, so I see all kinds of shit.
Oh,
yeah.
If you didn't know, Ty is in a car right now.
Yeah, I'm in a car at the library.
The audio quality is really good. Are you on your phone?
Oh, well, no. Matt got me a mic, so I have it hooked up to my laptop. But
gotcha. Okay.
I do be curbing the internet from the library.
Right. I know I mean that's pretty awesome. I mean the audio quality sounds good. There's not that many background noises. That's pretty good.
Now the key for you, Chad, try to find what library he's at and bother him.
Right.
Throw snowballs at
Where
his
is
car.
Ty?
Yeah, throw snowballs at my fucking car, which actually happened. Like, fucking, I was sitting out here, right? And it was like still snowing outside and shit. So I'm like laying down and I'm talking to Matt, right? And all of a sudden there's like these fucking like 5 or 6 kids who are fucking throwing snowballs at my fucking car. Like,
bro.
And I just pop open the door and I'm like, I look at one of them, the closest one to me, I'm like, yo, can you stop throwing shit at my fucking car? And then they got pissed off and then threw more shit at my car. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna bother with this. But
The dog's back.
wait, so what were you saying, Matt, about the?
Why?
Yeah, just that this one just straight up says that it's a true story. I doubt that it's all true. Some of it has to be made to kind of push the audience, try to get the audience in or people into the audience is what I mean.
It's obviously dramatized.
Yeah, it's like saying
Sorry,
The Irishman is a
already
straight up
ate
true story. Which
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's similar. It comes from a book. This was based off of a book written by the. I don't know if it was written by the person, by Louis, or it was written by someone else during. An interview.
I'm sure they like interviewed Louis and they had somebody write it down for him, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So.
I mean, for what it seems like Louis is a pretty fucking good guy. It seems like to me. It seems like he was a pretty fucking, I don't know the word. Like, I don't know. It seemed like he was a pretty stand-up person, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of don't see the point of how in the beginning they kind of set it up to make it seem like he's like a delinquent, you know. And I guess I can see how him being a delinquent leads into him being a track person, because that's like what happens. But I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really have repercussions throughout the movie.
Well,
It's not. It's like a minor gripe, but
yeah, what it reminds me of when he like joins the track team, it reminds me of Forrest Gump. When Forrest Gump runs across the football field, and it's the same.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I had so many Forrest Gump vibes from this movie.
Yeah, I do too.
What are you
I
doing?
think is Louis Forrest Gump?
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's like a smarter,
He's the
smarter,
Italian Forrest
more.
Italian Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
Maybe. Who is the director of this movie again?
Angelina Jolie.
Not the same.
Right. No, it's not. It's not the same director, but who was it? Angelina Jolie. You said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she's like, oh, I watched Forrest Gump when I was younger. I'm just gonna make a movie pretty much like that, except my guy's gonna be, he's gonna be capable. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's based
It's
on
possible.
a true story, or just
I'm
a
gonna
true
say,
story.
right.
It's a true story.
I mean, I just think it's weird, right? I don't know how we haven't addressed this yet, but is it not fucking weird that this is a movie directed by Angelina Jolie? Like, isn't that
Right.
just kind of weird to think about?
No, it is.
I don't know. I never, especially considering how good it is at some points. Like, at some points I'm like, holy shit, this is a fucking amazing scene. And I'm like, this is directed by fucking Angelina Jolie? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. It kind of makes me want to see more of her stuff.
Because I think women can do our jobs too.
No, I'm saying it's just because you think of her as an actress.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no,
God
women
damn
can
it, Matt,
do our
you
jobs.
went there.
That's just what I was kind of getting a
God
vibe
damn
of
it,
what you were
Matt.
saying, but then I was like,
No. I just don't. I don't imagine her as a director usually. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Neither
know.
would
I really don't know.
Well,
It's
Ed-
like
Ed's-
if it's like if Kanye West like made a fucking like movie and it was like super good, and you're like, what the fuck? Kanye West directed this? All right, I guess I have to see more Kanye West movies.
Yeah, recently though,
That type
a
of
lot
thing.
of actors have started directing movies. The Mandalorian was directed by a lot of actors and actresses. Bryce Dallas Howard. Who else was it? Mandalorian.
Wasn't it Jon Favreau or
Jon
something?
Favreau.
I know.
Taika Waititi, but he's more of a director than he is an actor. He's acted in a couple of his stuff. Don Cheadle did not do The Mandalorian. But let me just look up a list of actors that have turned to directors real quick. And actors turned, not politicians, directors. Kevin Costner, Ben Affleck, Sofia Coppola, Bill Paxton, George Clooney, Tom Hanks. There's actually a lot. But I don't think
Sofia Coppola is good. Like, honestly, her track record as a director and writer is like much better than her acting career, because like literally the only thing I know her from acting wise is like her really bad performance in The Godfather 3, which is like laughably bad.
yeah.
But like as a director, she's like pretty well renowned. So I mean, I don't know. That's kind of weird to think about though, huh? Like being like a fucking like really talented director, but like also being kind of a shit actor. I feel like that happens a lot, but at the same time, it's like directors are also have like, I don't know. There's like directors who work with. I don't know how to fucking explain it. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, also the fucking score, the score to this movie, I thought was great.
Yeah.
Like the music, I thought it was really good.
It
Except
was.
there's this one part. There's this like one. It's like almost like the main song type thing, where it's like the It is literally note for note the fucking song that plays in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, and I can't unhear it. Like, it's a good song and it fits too. But every time I fucking hear it, I automatically hear Avatar. I don't even know.
Avatar.
It's yeah.
Guess who?
Well, have you
guess
guys
who
seen
wrote
that?
the score? Guess who wrote the
Who?
score? You're not gonna get one of the names.
Zimmerman.
No, that's who I was thinking too, because it has a lot of that violin, a lot of strings. But it's Alexander Desplat and Coldplay.
Coldplay?
Coldplay.
Wow.
Huh.
Coldplay helped make this movie. So we got Angelina Jolie as the director.
And then
we
Coldplay,
got Coldplay as like the score.
Right.
The person writing the scores. Very interesting.
I mean, you guys, you guys know about like how Trent Reznor, right? You know how he was like in Nine Inch Nails, right? Like the band Nine Inch Nails, but he's like one of the most like successful composers in modern like cinema, you know, and like for games too. He did some stuff with like Doom. And he did like, well, let me look up some of the movie. I know he's in a lot of really popular movies. His like stuff. So okay, look, Soul, that new Pixar movie, he did that. Social Network, he did that. Bird Box, he did that. He does so much shit, and it's like, at this point, it's like one of those things where he's like, I don't know. It's like where someone has like such a hit. I don't know. It's like when someone crosses over from one field to another, or not really a different field, but like one type of work to another, and they're also really good at it. It's kind of impressive, which is kind of what I meant, like with Angelina Jolie. Like genuinely, I would like to see more movies done by her, because if she's this good at directing things, now, you know, setting aside my problems with the plot and whatnot, if she's really this good at directing things, I feel like I would like to see more movies by her.
Yeah. I take it because a lot of movies have like assistant directors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this one's is Rachel O'Bagley. Look it up. And Rachel O'Brien or Rachel O'Brien, right? And she's done plenty of, you know, good work on like, you know, assistant directing. Like she was second director of Pacific Rim Uprising, you know, a TV series named Wrecked. Let's see what else here is good. Fucking Daybreakers. See No Evil.
See, I didn't even know there was an assistant director here on this. Because it just says on Google, it just says Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, you have to look. You have to like search up assistant director, or you know, assisting second like director, you know, just like a assisting like director. So I'm not. I want to give like all the, obviously when it came down to releasing the movie, obviously Angelina Jolie had like, you know, once everything was put together, she could say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, switch it up, right, and do whatever. So obviously the final product is in Angelina Jolie's like, you know her say, right? So they released that on her say. But I'm just saying, I feel like the assistant directors do put a lot of work into a lot of different movies, and I feel like this might be the case. It just really depends, like looking on like, you know, like an extras video on like the movie or something, or you know, behind the scenes, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know,
I mean, I would.
And
oh, go ahead.
And even then, if you know they put in a lot of work or whatever, you know. It does still come down to Angelina Jolie, you know, saying like, yeah, I like Angelina Jolie, right? Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie. Yeah, it literally comes down to her. So I'm not trying to diss and be like, oh, she probably didn't do that much work. It literally came down to her saying like, yeah, that's good. Let's go ahead and put that out. So you know, so props to her, because it was still a really good piece. It was you know, obviously it's a really nice, you know, slow building movie and stuff, but you know, I feel like they could have grabbed my attention a little bit harder at the beginning, maybe with something. Could have spiced it up a little bit. But besides that, it's a really good movie. It just Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say the beginning feels a little bit lost in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it sets up some things that feels kind of lost. The meat and bones of this movie is definitely the second act, though, I feel like. And that's kind of my problem, though. Like, I feel like this movie is just a second act. Like, that's what I see in my head. I see, like, a little bit happens at the beginning, a little bit happens at the end, and then you have, like, a whole movie of just, like, you know, war symbolism, existentialism, you know, like, survival. That's what I see it as. Like, that's what I kind of got.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think basically, I guess to sum it up, or not to sum it up, but to explain it, my thoughts are like, this movie is really good in terms of like writing, cinematography, characters, set design, costume design. Like, it's really good in so many ways, except it kind of just, I don't know, the structure of it really messes with me, I think. Like, it kind of, I feel like they could have done better with especially with the third act, you know. But
well,
I don't know.
One thing I wanted to talk about also is well, the boat takes up a lot of like a lot of the movie, but it's super important.
A lot of screen time.
But one moment that, like, the first time I watched this movie, I got like super anxious and my anxiety was just out of control when the sharks, when they jump in the water after the with the sharks.
Doing some rounds on them.
And I think my blood pressure went like super high at that one point.
I can't believe the Mac died there.
Oh yeah, no, I expected him to live. I expected us to see Phil again too, which is like,
he didn't die from that. He died from starvation.
No, he died though.
Yeah, he died
from like.
Yeah, I'm not saying he died from the shark. I just can't believe that he. I'm glad. You know, it's good character development for the other two characters that remain, but you know, I was just sitting there just like, holy shit, I thought Mac was gonna go a little bit longer, but.
I mean, props to Mac for beating the shit out of that shark with that fucking paddle. I loved that. That shit made me laugh so hard. I got scared when the shark jumped up, and then I thought it was so satisfying. I don't know how to explain it. It just felt so fucking fun and funny to watch them just beat the shit out of the shark with a fucking paddle, and the shark isn't even like going underwater, right? It's just fucking sitting there taking a beating. It was so fucking good. I loved it. Oh fuck. Yeah, that shit was good. Oh god, what else was I gonna say? Fuck.
I'm so sad that they killed that seagull.
Oh,
they tried to eat it and they threw up.
I'm not. I was like, survival of the fittest.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that seagull, grab its leg and rip it apart. That's what I was thinking.
I was sitting there and I was like, oh no, not the seagull. And then they did the seagull. I was sitting there, because there's like, there is some nutrients, but you know, you gotta try and go for fishing, and it's good because you know that seagull provided some bait, so that's nice.
Oh yeah,
that they
also kind of
utilized it.
Yeah, but they also kind of brings me to another point about this whole raft scene. I kind of got upset that they were kind of like wasting materials and stuff, to some extent. Yeah, like for example, when Phil, his bandage on his head, right? They wrapped it around, and then they took it off and just threw it in the water. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's a dirty bandage, but is there nothing that you could use it for, you know, in an emergency?
Like a binding or something, like, you know, tie the boats together if the line gets whatever.
Yeah, you know, just something.
I think that by that point was the other boat deflated, or
if they had at that point the boat hadn't been shot or anything.
Yeah,
they have a specific repair kit, and it works really well. They poke a hole, try to make it a little wider, and then so that it stops the hole temporarily, so that the boat doesn't sink.
It plugs
they're
it.
Trying to plug it, and then they'll put like a paste on it and slap like a rubber thing over it to seal the hole. So I feel like that bandage wouldn't have been too much help anyways. Also, it would have probably attracted sharks. Cause
I don't know about that. It's not gonna be in the. It's gonna be in the raft, not in the sea. You know. So, and also, they totally wasted Mac's body. Okay, first of all, they could have taken his shoes. They could have taken his clothes. All right, I get it's a little bit dehumanizing, but just hear me out, okay?
Okay.
If you don't know how long you're gonna be out on the ocean, right? Somebody dies. I'm not saying eat him, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, they had a little extra raft and they had a little thing they made, right? Why not let his corpse rot, okay? And then so that it would attract some like fucking like predators, like it's maybe a different type of bird or some fucking thing, right? Or since out stuff water, right? And they did end up eating a shark. So like, why not leave the body there as like bait, and then just fucking gank anything that comes towards it, And that's like, bam, infinite food glitch right there. You're good.
Right. I think they like I think they the movie didn't really do a good job of showing like how much supplies they had. I think we were supposed to like infer that like they killed a
had a
whole bird,
lot.
so they probably still had a ton of like extra pieces to use. But I get the using his corpse as like shark bait and stuff because that the shark will sustain them very very well. But
Well, I don't agree with the shark thing as much as I agree with take their clothes, use that as like some sort
yeah,
of
take their
shade.
clothes is good too.
They were
Yeah,
dying
right.
from like sunburn and like hydration,
Heat exhaustion. Yeah.
heat exhaustion, and if you had that shirt, cover your head and try to get the sun off you. Use it as like
Oh yeah. Why not make like a turban or something to keep the heat under control?
I mean, there were some scenes where they had their shirts over themselves, and there were some scenes where they were just like laying there like this. They're fucking crusty ass, dry ass lips. They're just like, fucking, oh, and their shirts like fucking missing. You're sitting there like, I'm like, this guy just had a shirt like over him, like not too long ago. Where the fuck is his shirt?
Also, it looked like the actors like actually like fucking put themselves through some real shit. Unless it was like good CG, like really good CG. It looks like the actors definitely fucking underwent like a huge transformation for this movie.
Yeah, like I like the one scene where they go in like they run into a Japanese boat, then they're taken to that one little forest where they're just like held captive for a little bit, and there was a scene where they had them take off all their clothes, and the Louis' friend, I can't remember his name, he was like I think one of the pilots of the airplane, but like you could see his ribs like flicking out. And I was sitting there, I'm like if that is the actor himself, props to him for going through such a transformation. But I don't know, I couldn't tell because it looked pretty realistic. So
it looked
could have
very
been
real.
Could have been realistic as CGI, which props to the CGI team. And it could have been the actor putting himself through the arena. Because there's actors, like for movies and stuff, they're just like, hey, you got to weigh this much, and you got to look built. We're gonna get you a weight coach, and we're gonna get you a training coach, and we're gonna get you to that physical shape or that whatever where they'll go from like big and muscular to like super scrawny, or they'll go from scrawny to big and muscular.
That's
Not it's not like Captain America where they just CGI Steve Rogers like or
fucking his big old man nipples on.
Yeah, they don't CGI his I don't know who Steve
they
Rogers'
CGI'd
actor
his
is.
skinny
Face.
They got him like
They-
a really
this
short
face
person
onto-
and just put the face on top of it.
Yeah. What's Chris
Christian
Rogers'
Bale.
actors?
Oh, Chris Evans.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say
Chris
that.
Evans.
Christian.
Oh no, I was
Yeah,
gonna
no,
say Christian Bale.
Christian. Yeah.
Yes,
the-
Look
going
up
through
Christian Bale, the machinist.
Yeah.
And the
I
machinist.
I don't have to. I already know.
Yeah. Okay, we
And
all
then-
know.
Extremely skinny. Yeah.
Machinist.
Yeah.
Batman, just he's gained so much weight, loses weight. To be an actor like that would be ooh. I don't know, man. That's really hard.
It'd be tough.
You have a lot of dedication.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do it. I really don't think I'd be able to do it.
I would love to try.
Yeah, I would try it. I would certainly try it, but I think he only ate I'm pretty sure Christian Bale for the machinist, he only ate like a can of tuna and an apple a day for like months, which is fucking insane. Like one can of tuna and an apple a day.
That's like
That's
not
fucking
even,
ridiculous.
That's not even like what, let's see, a can of tuna probably just like your
It's like
average,
200
circular
calories
can.
maybe.
Yeah, probably like not even 300 calories, probably just
Apple's
like
90
under
calories.
it. Yeah, so like probably just like 250 or 200 calories like a day. Yeah, that would be terrible. And that's the worst thing about like that acting, like about that part of acting, when they said that for Christian Bale to be be in The Machinist or whatever, to get that skinny, is that um usually what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to subtract calories, like every week, right? So you get through a week and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna take off like 200 calories, and then you go next week take off 200 calories. But when he was acting and they asked him and did that, he switched his diet immediately.
Yeah.
I'm sure his first few days he was just throwing up constantly, because if you switch your diet like that, your fucking your stomach's gonna fucking. I mean, there's this one time that I was like, right, yeah, there was this one time that I had gone like a whole day without eating a single thing, and my caloric intake's like, my calorie intake's like I think like 2,500 to like 3,500 ish. So like a lot. Mm-hmm. And then one day I just didn't eat anything. All I did was drink water. I threw up 9 times while driving home from work. Yeah, it was terrible. And
that sounds, I guess, fucking awful.
No. So and I was driving home, and none of it got in the car because I had the window open. I was just like throwing up out the window as I was pulling into my apartment complex. I was like 9 times.
Like someone behind you, just like what's he doing? Oh.
Yeah, no, dude, it was so bad. No, when I got home, I was sitting there. I come to the door. My brother starts like, "Hey, yo, what's up?" I'm like, I threw up like 9 times. I'm going to lay down. But yeah, and then my body was just like, hey, fuck you, that was terrible. Let's never do that again.
I fucking bet, dude. I kind of know what you're talking about, because I haven't been eating much recently, right? And I used to be able to just fucking like chomp down shit. Like I could fucking devour like a feast, Like, but now, right? Since I haven't been eating as much, and I just haven't been buying food. Like when I sit down and I eat a meal that's like what it would be normal size like a couple months ago, I can't even fucking get it down. Like I feel like I'm gonna fucking vomit if I try to eat the whole thing, and it's just like, I don't know, it's fucking weird. But
well, it's the size of your stomach. The size of your stomach. Now, if you eat like a lot of food, your stomach's gonna be bigger. But if you like try to like eat less and less, it's gonna start going. Your stomach's gonna start to shrink a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. It's okay if you gotta leave. By the way, you can just ask. You can just.
What?
It says bugging out.
What? He said that like a minute ago. He said that a minute ago on Discord. Like an hour ago.
Okay.
You did.
What? Oh, Discord's bugging out.
Discord bugging out?
Yeah. No, that was an hour ago.
I was like, if you have to leave, just tell me.
No. Yeah, no. Discord was bugging out earlier because
that explains your facial reaction to what I said.
I was sitting there. I
like,
my Discord is dying now.
So
yeah, so when I was in there, you weren't anything. I'm like, what people's gone? Oh, your Discord is dying now.
Uh-oh.
Let me see.
We can curse you, Matt. Did we? Oh god, we cursed Matt.
Discord.
I said bugging out, and it just stopped. It just stopped.
It was like, all right, you said bug out, got it. I heard you, homie. Here I go.
I think we're back. I think I'm back.
Yeah.
It's less skipping. You guys kept skipping every word. Every other word.
Gosh.
There's gonna be an echo for a second. There's gonna be an echo for a second.
All right.
Okay, is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. We're good.
Okay. I feel like we should stop talking about the internet connection, because I feel like we're gonna fuck ourselves even worse.
Yeah.
But no.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about? I think altogether this is a really good
specifically
movie.
about the movie. It's pretty good. It's just, I agree with Ty a little bit at the beginning. It's just really I don't feel like it belongs. They could have done a little bit better, right? I think they could have done a little bit more of like some character development or something. because they're like, oh, they're Italians, they moved it, they're immigrants, they moved to America, all that good stuff. And I was sitting there, I'm like, yeah, this is good. We're getting the Italian cooking and stuff, but it was super predictable that was going to happen.
Right.
And
It's like have we checked all the boxes yet? It's kind of like that.
right. Besides the beginning, beautiful movie. I believe it was really really good.
Did it meet your
Wait,
expectations?
uh, yeah, I was sitting there. I was just like the only time I ever like saw parts of this movie was I was sitting there one day, I was watching it, and then they're like, all right, let's go to the store. This is when I was younger, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go to the store, and I went to the store, and then I came back, and the movie was still on because it's like a 2 hour and like 10 or 20 minute movie. And I was sitting there and I watched the rest of it. I was sitting there, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I missed, but this is pretty nice. Like this is awesome. I'm sure the part that I missed, it would have gotten me a little bit more intrigued and stuff. It it beat my expectations just by a tiny bit though, because it's just that beginning that kind of gave it, it messed it up a little bit.
I kind of felt similarly, like, except for like, well, I've said this like 15 times already, but for me, it's like this movie does a lot right, but the structure for me is just all over the place. Like I said, like basically the whole movie is a, oh God, do you fucking hear that?
Yeah.
Do you
I
hear
do.
that?
Yeah.
That's like,
What
okay,
is-
okay, never mind.
Helicopter.
It was like a fucking, I don't know. It was like some ominous fucking force that just came through. Anyway,
the rapture.
yeah, but fucking is that it again? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Okay. Oh no, it was just a guy with big fucking fucking. Okay, whatever. I lit woofers.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, Anyway, the ending of this movie for me, and like, I really didn't like the ending, first of all, because for the last 30 minutes, I expected it to come back, like I said, to come back to the Olympic thing. I thought that was going to be important, and it set it up to be very important, like it was going to come back, and but it kind of did the thing where it's just like, oh, here's a montage, and I'm like, well, why can't we work this into the narrative? Why can't we come back? Why can't we cut out some of the middle, just trim it a little bit around the middle, and then just come back so it's more emotionally impactful? Instead, it came off almost like, to me, like a parody almost, where it's like, I was kind of thinking, I was like, well, is it going to do the thing where it's like, Louis is now blah, 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 and lives in Florida for the rest of his life, and blah, blah, blah. And it did do that, which was very disappointing for me, especially because I was so, like, for the first, like, hour and a half of this movie, I was like, my expectations were low because I saw some reviews on not on purpose, but I saw some. I was like, okay, so this movie has to do something wrong. But then through the first hour and a half, like, for the most part, I was like, okay, wow, this is really good. I was like, why are people not liking this? And I was like, this is really good. And then I got to the end, and I noticed that it was kind of like not really, like I said, like not really following through on that structure. And then I was kind of like, okay, I kind of see why, because it kind of like, and it kind of happens a lot where you have movies that have like really good ideas, but they don't really have acts. And I'm not saying you need an act or a set structure to be good. But when you set up a structure and then you don't really come back to it, it kind of makes it feel like it was like an unfinished idea. Like if it's something like Eraserhead, where everything is just like a simultaneous, like, what the fuck is going on? This is so artsy and doesn't make any sense. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to have an act or a structure like that because there's not really any like kind of drama. Everything is symbolic. But in this movie, it's like they set up a first act and it's kind of short, and then they have like a whole middle, and the middle is like the whole movie. And that's like my biggest complaint, I guess. And for a lot of people, I can see how that wouldn't matter, like but for me, that's a big thing. And that's pretty much it. There are little things here and there, but like I don't know. At some point, I kind of started, like, because of the ending. Also, I was kind of like, all right, this is bordering on propaganda a little bit. But then I was like, nah, not really. I was like, is it really? Nah, it's not. I mean, there are parts that's kind of like, and then everyone was happy and America saved day. A little bit, you know.
Yeah,
And I don't like that.
Mm.
I really don't like that. But it wasn't enough to make me be like, fuck this movie. This movie's trying to tell me what to think. Fuck this shit. I wasn't thinking that. So, you know, in the end, I'd say I liked it. But, I mean, should I give my rating? Should we go on to ratings?
We can, and then we can announce.
Before we do,
Oh, wait,
yeah,
my
before we
audio might
do,
have cut out again.
I'd like
Hold
to
on.
mention. Oh, there it goes. Man, I found like a fucked up scene in that movie was.
Oh, I did want to say somehow Domhnall Gleeson weaseled his way into this movie.
Fuck. Hold on.
Yeah, no, there was. I
Alright,
saw
wait.
those.
Can you guys hear me now? Can
Yeah,
you guys
we
hear
can,
me?
we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry about whatever the fuck just happened.
No, you're good. No, yeah, I noticed that. I think there was like two actors in there that I recognized, but they weren't like the lead roles, which I really liked. They were just playing like supporting characters, and you know, this gives new actors, you know, a try at the spotlight. So I really like that. What was it? I hate the scene. I hate the scene where he's in the camp, and then these people, it's like Japan like talk radio like take him to like, you know, and then you see that there's already some other like U.S. military boys in there. You're sitting there like, what the fuck is this, bro? That's so fucked up. Imagine
Oh,
being
yeah.
imagine being in like in a prison camp. Next day you're in like a nice like hotel, you're eating breakfast
Also,
and stuff.
He kind of I really hate Japan in this moment. Just like in that part, just okay. Tell them that that's
Wait.
gonna be out of context. Is I hate Japan.
Yeah.
Take that out of
No,
context.
wait.
I hated,
Somebody clip that. I
when-
really hate
Yeah,
Japan.
somebody clip that. I really hate Japan in this
really-
moment.
That's it.
Oh,
Hey, Ty, now
God.
you're on it.
Okay.
You just said it too.
No, I was
All
quoting
three of
you.
us.
I was quoting you.
No. We're all three of us are fucked.
Yeah.
God damn it, we're canceled now. We're
Yeah,
canceled now.
We're gonna
But,
get exposed.
Yeah,
These
in
three
that
hate
moment
Japan.
when when the Japanese take him to go to do the radio, and then okay, tell them that you're alive. That's all you're gonna do today, and then they come back like a couple hours later. Okay, so we want you to be like, turn on your country and like do propaganda for the Japanese. You're Olympic. You're famous. We want you to work for us now.
Yeah, pretty
forget about
much.
your country. Go ahead and do that. And then he just straight up, no, I'm good. I'm done
He's
with
just
living
like, no,
my
I-
life.
And they're like would you go back to camp? He's like, yep,
Yep, I'm fine.
Hmm.
good morals.
I would have taken the deal, to be real.
You would've- you would've- you would've
I
took the
probably
deal?
would have.
I
Yeah, man, I would have caved.
hold on, I got it.
I might cave. I'm not.
What about you, Matt?
What? I might cave. It just depends. I'd have to be there to know, like, how was I treated at the camp compared to what I'm treated now? What will I have to say?
If I was treated like Louis, I'm telling you, man, fucking, I'm living the high life. I'm living the high life in Japan. I'm doing it. I'm taking it. I don't care.
Taking that deal. Yeah. No, I was.
You're taking it. You're taking it.
See, part of me is just like would be like, no, I would go back. I would go back for the boys, and then part of me is just like, let me realistically put myself in that situation. All right.
Yeah.
If I go back, the bird's gonna just want to kick the fuck out of my ass, and everybody's gonna hate it because nobody can do anything about it, right? And you know that your comrades are back there, they're suffering and stuff, and honestly, I would honestly I would probably take the deal.
Yeah.
I want to sit here and, you know, I don't want to sit here and be like Macho Man, you know, good-hearted, good morals, and be like, yeah, I would go back for my comrades and stuff. You know, it really depends on like the bonds that I would make there, because I can't really put myself in that position until I am in that position, and
Yeah.
I will truly never know what it would be like. So
Hopefully,
I can't really say for
hopefully
sure.
you never know.
Right. I can't say for sure whether or
mean-
not I would take that deal until I'm actually in that position.
I
That's how
don't
I
go
am.
back. I don't go back for my country. I go back for the fucking boys.
Right.
That's what I go back for.
Yeah, I'm not going back for
Boys.
my country. I'm going back for the boys. Like if they're, if I got some homies back there that are suffering, bro, I'll be like, dude, you can take this paper, you can shove it where the fucking sun don't shine, baby. I'm going send me back to fucking. I'm like, take me back to church camp, take me back to summer camp. Let's fucking go. Take me back to Total Drama Island, bro. Take me back.
It took you fucking Total Drama Torture Island, Japan,
Yeah,
World War
yeah.
II edition. That's
Yeah.
fucking good. Oh, that reminds me, dude. There was a scene that made me fucking laugh my ass off. It was the scene with it's towards the end where they're working the coal mine, and the one Japanese guy comes up and he says, President Roosevelt has died or something like that. And then everyone's just like, okay, what? And then one fucking guy just like crumbles to the ground like it's a fucking like apocalyptic event. Like it's the worst thing he's ever heard. He's like, oh God, no, not
Yeah.
President Roosevelt.
overacted
Ah!
it.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, does this guy have like a particular love for fucking Roosevelt? Like, I don't
Think
understand.
about what FDR did. He did a lot while he was in office. He was in there for 3 terms. Could have been.
Yeah, he was there for
4,
like
I
12
think.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
there
elected
a
for 4. He
long
didn't make
time.
it through.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he died
fireside
on his 4th
chats, he
term,
did
I
all
think.
that stuff, and then he got into a war right after trying to like save the U.S. economy.
Oh, you know what?
Roosevelt's
Maybe I'm just a
fireside
fucking
chats.
idiot. Maybe I'm just a fucking idiot. Maybe there's like an actual historical reason. Maybe that's why. God damn it. Maybe I'm just a fucking I think I am. I think I'm a fucking idiot,
What?
actually. So
Well,
just
what?
ignore everything I just said. Well, because if he was reacting that way because like because of the way that like Roosevelt was like, I don't know, like more hands-on, more with the people type thing.
No,
then
no,
I guess
he-
it kind of makes sense why he'd react that way.
Yeah, he did like he had these things called Roosevelt fireside chats, and he would be helping and talking people through like, hey, we're gonna get through this because this was coming out of the Great Depression era, is when America's slowly coming out. The money's still not good, and then once we get into war, everybody's getting jobs, everybody's making money, all the economy's boom it's going right. So Franklin Roosevelt had his fireside chats. He was really into with the people. He was the one with polio, and he was the one who I think there's like this other like war movie that I can't remember at this moment, but it's like based on like the Pearl Harbor attacks or whatever. And then when Franklin Roosevelt's like notified of it because the communications and stuff was like destroyed, like the messages had to go all the way to Washington, and then he would finally know what's going on, right? He would when he's like they're like, sir, we shouldn't get into this war, it would be like bad, right? He's like he's got like the braces on his legs. This guy can't walk, but he can, right? Like he shouldn't be able to walk, but then he flicks his little braces into place and gets up, and he's like, you can't tell me what I can't do, right? So
shit. That's like Oh, that reminded me of John Locke.
He's one of the better presidents. I would definitely say, and then I remember hearing that scene, and remember that scene, and they said that Roosevelt passed away, and I was sitting there, I'm like, well, okay, well that's not good news for Japan, because then our boy Harry S. Truman goes in, and he well, I don't want to say what he does, but he ends the war pretty
He
quickly.
nukes the.
Yeah, he does a
Pretty
bad
much.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I was sitting there, I'm like,
comes-
when I heard when that scene happened, like Roosevelt has died, I was sitting there, I'm like, well, the war's ending soon.
I just thought about
Yeah,
someone's gonna clip
basically.
I hate the Japanese, and then it's gonna be nukes.
I hate the.
I mean, I don't think
hate
anyone
Japan.
will,
I
but
hate Japan. Nukes.
no, it was you. The quote, this actual quote you said was, "I hate the Japanese right now." Or some shit like that. It was like, in this moment, I hate the Japanese.
These just right now.
Put nukes and screaming
fuck.
nukes
Specifically
after.
right now.
That would be so funny if somebody was watching and they clipped that. Like, I hate the Japanese, or just right now. That would be so funny.
We'd
It'd be so funny if somebody
real
clipped that.
quick.
Yeah, we would get YouTube exposed. Keemstar would do a video on us and be like, "What is going on, Drama Alert Nation?" So we got some
Hey, but people
we got some
drama.
like some anti-Japanese people, man. They are terrible.
Have you heard about this person?
Right.
Hates the Japanese.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like
so,
we're probably gonna get like there's gonna be some automatic like voice recognition algorithm bullshit that's gonna like pick up on us saying this, and then just be like, then
What?
yeet us off the fucking face of the earth or some shit.
it would
Maybe I'm
have
just-
to be
that probably sounded fucking insane, but
it would have to be somebody watching like the chat, and they would have to be like a memester, and and here's our response to that. We can post a YouTube video and be like, hey, here's the whole video, so if you wanna watch the whole thing and actually see what we're talking about, then you'll realize that we're not saying that, right? So we wouldn't get, there's no, the only repercussion that we would get is clout.
I suppose that's true.
That's not a bad
And that's-
repercussion.
and that's not even a repercussion. So if that happens, I mean, it happens, because then we wait for like 1,000 viewers just waiting for our response, and then we'll be like, hey, just watch the video, and they'll be like, oh, these guys are just they were just talking about this movie, right? So, but yeah, I don't think
any young goofsters out there. No.
yeah. I don't think there's much else to cover about this movie. I think we pretty much got it all.
Should we get into the ratings and
No,
then
yeah, I
announce
agree.
next week's?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start with mine. I'd give it an 8.5. That's what I'm gonna give it.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
don't like the beginning. It's slow, and then in the middle, my favorite area of the act, I consider it an act of the movie, is when they're on the raft and they're all kind of doing like the they all become bros on the boat, and they all start to like bond. Then I feel like if you cut out the beginning a little bit, or just show him doing some of the Olympic stuff, just show him
Yeah.
joining the military. You don't have to show us his childhood.
Yeah.
You kind of could fix that the beginning, just because it moves slow, and the beginning is like the first thing the audience is going to see, and people will drop off before it gets to the good part.
Right.
And then I like the camp, like the first camp scene, like where they're where he meets the bird and stuff. I like that. And then the coal scene, the coal part where they go into the coal camp, that kind of goes downhill. It's not as exciting as when he's in the other camp, but it's good. I'd give it an 8.5. That's me.
Okay, fair enough. I can go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So for me, my score is kind of low relative to yours, Matt. I'm gonna give this movie a 6.5. And keep in mind that's above average. I'd say it's good. It's a good movie.
Okay.
For me though, it kind of lets down in the beginning, and those are really, it really impacted my. It gave I
Rating.
don't know. It kind of really impacted my viewing experience. So I have to, I have to be reasonable here and say, is this movie on the level of something else I gave an 8, or is this
Right.
movie on the level of something else I gave a 7? And if I ask myself that honestly, I can't say yes. So I'll say 6.5. It's a good movie. It has a lot of problems in my opinion, but it's definitely worth watching. I think I guess that's my my take. It's worth watching because it has good direction, as good lighting, as good characters and acting, and a lot of good stuff. It just kind of falls flat plot wise and a little bit story wise for me. So that's my take.
Mm-hmm. I'd give this movie a my rating would be an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It's kind of biased. I really do like the war movies, and I like the war movies that portray both sides, right? There's there's not that many that portray both sides, or at least I think it did a really good job. This one did. There's a lot that'll try it, and it's just it's like, okay, well, at least they tried. I would give those movies like a 7.5 because they gave an effort. And I'm not just rating it on just based off that, but because there's a bunch of other movies like that, and they got really good flow with the movie and stuff, and it's good. I give it an 8 out of 10 because the beginning is a little rough, and the it's just I like slow moving movies and slow moving plots, but there's if you do them, you have to know how to do them, right? You can't just be like you can't get into it and be like, oh, I'm going to do this nice slow moving plot. This could be really good character development and stuff. If you do it, you have to have experience with it, because if you don't have any experience, then there's a really good chance that the plot's just going to be so slow moving that nobody's going to be interested, right? So I just feel like that could have been better, and I think those are what took the 2 points away. But besides that, it's all around a pretty good movie, and I'd say it's worth watching. I give it an Angry Joe badass seal of approval.
Damn, that's a throwback.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
good one.
It's an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I feel like that's a reasonable rating from me.
I feel like that's fair. Like, I can see how someone would give this an 8 or an 8.5, because it's definitely, it'll relate to some people more than others,
Right.
I have a lot of respect for this movie. And
Yeah,
I like what you said about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So no, I was gonna say, I had some grandparents in the war and stuff, so my childhood, I went over there and I got told a bunch of war stories and stuff, so I a little bit biased, but
Well, it's okay. Everyone has a little bit of bias. I think that, like, what you said about slow burn is like having a slow moving movie. I actually agree with you on that. I like slow moving plots. I like because if you add those little elements of mundanity, these little things that like don't really seem to matter, it makes your movie feel more fleshed out, because that's like the life we live. Is we experience many mundane things. Now, of course, you have to balance that, and that's like what you were talking about.
yeah,
having that balance be too much or too little, to the point where the plot becomes too spread out. And basically I feel the same is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on and
so
get
should
to
we
the
move on to
recommendations for this week, and then we'll announce your next week's films.
Okay.
I'll go first on this one again. I'm gonna recommend The Godfather Coda. It's a remake of the original Godfather 3, but the pacing is a lot better. The pacing in this movie is a lot better. It still follows the same storyline. The storyline is it's not good compared to the other Godfather movies, but the pacing in this film is a lot better than the original Godfather Part 3. So skip the Godfather Part 3, go to the Godfather.
So where can
Coda.
I watch that?
I can.
Where can I watch it?
I don't know. I know it's on Blu-ray and DVD. You could probably find it somewhere, but I don't know if there's any specific streaming service that has it on there right now. It came out in 2020. I thought it was going to be another Godfather movie, and I wanted to watch it, but it was just a repeat of the Godfather 3, just cut differently. So
I hope they don't make another Godfather movie. I don't see why the fuck they would, but
I don't think they should.
Hollywood. Yeah, no, they definitely shouldn't.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
So that's your recommendation?
Yeah.
I can go next. Is it so? So do you want me to give you my recommendation for next week's thing, or?
Next week's recommendation. Let's go with Austin first, and then you can
Yeah.
go back to back.
So then we say yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it like that.
My recommendation was the movie that you got. I think Matt and I were talking about after the last podcast called The Lighthouse, because I haven't seen it yet. I think both of you have though, and I psychological horror and a bunch of other shit that just sounds right up my fucking alley. So that's what I would like to watch next. I don't really know anything about the plot.
That's a smart move. Yeah, if you watch that, you will definitely love it. That is a great
It's really good.
movie, especially if you like Lovecraftian shit. Yeah, if you like horror and Lovecraftian shit and like gothic stuff, like gothic horror, that is right up your alley.
Good. It's just altogether a good film. So
yeah, phenomenal movie.
Next week's
so for me, okay, I kind of got an oddball recommendation here, okay? And I kind of have to give you a preface here because what I'm recommending you is an adaptation of my favorite story of all time. And as with most adaptations, sometimes they are unnecessary. So I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time. Oh, do what?
I said right. A lot of adaptations are pretty bad.
Also, real quick,
so
thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Four freaks. How is
cool tongues, bro?
Oh.
Nice,
bro.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, you can get back into it.
Anyway, yeah. So my favorite story of all time is this manga called Berserk. I have a tattoo of it. I've spent like literally thousands of dollars on merchandise and stuff, which is like a big waste of money because I had to sell it all to get money back for things. But
all right.
This story is like it impacted me on a very personal level, and it's a series of 3 movies, right? And they're adaptations of this arc of the Berserk manga called the Golden Age, and it's widely considered by most manga readers to be like the best arc of any manga ever written. And I agree. I personally have not read or watched a story that's as good as this arc before or since. But it's a trilogy of short movies that cover this arc. It's not nearly as good as the arc in the manga. I wouldn't say it's a bad adaptation. It's just they cut out a lot of stuff for cinematic purposes.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Berserk as a core its story is so good, its writing is so tight that even when cutting out large parts of it, and even this way, even though it's inferior to the manga, it's still a very, very, very good story. And so this trilogy that I'm recommending, it has some really bad CGI animation in the first movie. But then by the third movie, I'm convinced that by the time you guys get to the third movie or the third episode of this thing, that you'll be you'll just understand, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And well, I guess I have to give another disclaimer too. If you guys, there's a lot of like sexual imagery, sexual violence, and there's some really dark stuff that happens in this story, and it actually cuts out a lot of it in the trilogy. But if you guys are okay with watching that, I just want to make sure, because it's not. I don't want to recommend anything that'll make anyone uncomfortable or anything like that.
Right.
Hey, we watched Raw together, Ty. I'm in.
That's true. Well, honestly, it's worse than Raw. Like it's actually like one of the most
I've
like
read
emotionally
the manga a little bit, so I kind of have some understanding of what it, some of the dark areas.
No, like I know like a little bit of the beginning, but I'm just telling you right now, the end of the third movie might be the most heart-wrenching, sad thing you have ever seen. Like it was for me. It is genuinely fucking traumatizing what happens. So I'm
Oh,
I'm not
gosh.
trying to sound like a fucking edgelord, but it's
Right.
very
It's-
sad.
Just be prepared. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be
you'll have
prepared.
to.
And if you
I
guys
was gonna say
like
you'll have to
last, this
send
is
me a
the last
link.
comment on it. I will. I'll send it to you. But last thing about it is, do either of you guys like Bloodborne or Dark Souls?
I like both.
Yep, love
Okay,
it.
so
Absolutely. I was playing Dark
Berserk.
Souls 3 yesterday.
Okay, well then you'll love this because Berserk is actually one of the main inspirations. Not one of the main inspirations, but Dark Souls actually took like a lot from Berserk lore-wise. Like everything about Artorias, everything about the Red Sun and Gwendolyn, like all of that
Okay.
stuff is it's
Okay.
taken from Berserk. And you'll definitely notice it. Like, there's no way you will not notice it watching this movie. Berserk, Dark Souls has made blatant like references to Berserk before, but yeah, I guess that's my recommendation. Sorry for the tangent.
No, you're good. I can't wait to watch all 3 movies.
Same. Uh,
Epic.
so are they all under like the golden age on Netflix? So like, or are they
Yeah.
different
There's
names?
they have each have different names. Like the first one's called like actually they have like a long Japanese name. It's like a long running Japanese fantasy series. So there's like long ass titles and stuff. So like the first one is called Berserk Golden Age Arc 1: The Egg of the King. And then the second one's called like Berserk Golden Age Arc 2 Battle for Doldre, and then the third one's called like Episode 3 The Advent or something like that. This story, like the manga, has been going on for. Okay, so to give you an example of how long it is, the manga first started publishing when my mom was about 6 years old. So it's been going for a long time.
I'm excited to watch it. I've heard you talk about Berserk. I think more than I should, more than I should hear.
More
But,
than I can count.
More than I can count. Yeah. So I'm excited to kind of see what. Also, before I get into like get off tangent or anything, is this a 3D animation type of movie or is it 3D like 2D animation?
It's a blend actually.
Okay.
So it starts off. So the studio that did this, they were kind of learning their footing when making this, right? Because it's a passion project. Like they loved the source material so much, they wanted to make an adaptation of it. So there's in the first movie especially, you will notice fucking horrendous CG, like horrendous. But by the third movie, they blend the CG so well with the by the third movie with the traditional animation that it becomes like something beautiful. Like by the third movie, the animation is just like spectacular. Basically they do like almost like motion capture basically, and then they rotoscope it basically till they animate every frame of the thing moving in 2D over the 3D model by the third movie. So it looks very fluid and it looks very real. The thing that if you guys like slow burn stuff, of course, okay, so most Berserk fans would probably burn me at the fucking stake for recommending you these movies first before the manga, but I'm just going to be honest, it's not easy to get people to read a fucking 40 book long 33-year running series. So, there has to be a stepping stone somewhere. I mean, and even if it's not like trying to get people into the manga, they still stand right on their own. But yeah, most of the fan base would probably fucking murder me for recommending you this first, but I don't care at all because I like them. So
Do you know the studio behind the
yeah, it's a Studio Orange, and they're actually known
Studio
for
Orange,
they're known for being like one of the breakthrough people in anime who are actually good at CG. They are the only studio that I can really think of other than UFO Table who make really good 3D. They don't do it cheaply.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and end it. I
Yeah,
guess.
there's not a
You want to say anything?
All right. I was going to say there's not a lot of what's called like little anime studios that are good at CG.
Yeah.
They're good at their 2D anime and stuff. Like there's this I'm watching Attack on Titan right now, and they switched studios to Mappa, which is it's
Oh my
okay.
god.
I mean, bad, but when the CG came in, it was
Oh
fucking
no,
terrible.
yeah, I agree.
But-
No, dude, totally. I was telling Matt about that because I tried to get Matt to watch Attack on Titan, or he did start watching Attack on Titan. I think he's on episode 20, but yeah,
Nice.
they have the thing about also another thing I should mention. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent about this, but Berserk is also a pretty big inspiration for Attack on Titan in terms of how the story is told. But Wit Studio. Well, there's like a whole explosion going on right now between like Mappa and Wit, like people liking and hating Mappa or over Wit who did Attack on Titan previously. I personally think that the CG looks terrible. I'm not gonna go fucking harass the animators like some people have. I genuinely don't think it looks good, and I've been following the manga for years. So this season for me was like supposed to be like so impactful, and I feel like they undid a lot of greatness that this arc could have been. But I'm sure you know that because you're a fan of Attack on Titan. So
yeah,
I mean,
I was sitting there and they're slowly fixing it. I think I've been watching all the new episodes. I have Funimation subscription, so I'm just watching. There's a new episode that released, I think, right now of Attack on Titan season 4, and they're doing a season 4 part 2 and stuff. But every new episode that comes, I think the CG is just getting just a little tiny bit better. So I think Map is obviously trying to do the best with what they got, because
right.
Animes are they're looked down upon. They're really underfunded because there's only like a small group of people that watch them, right? So that's why they had to switch studios to Mappa, because the first studio wasn't getting enough money.
Right. And animators are notoriously underpaid, right? So it's like, people shouldn't fucking harass these people,
Yeah, right. I like don't get me wrong, Mappa's CG is fucking trash, but I'm not gonna go on Twitter. I'm not gonna send them emails. I'm not gonna send them death threats like, hey, please stop animating Attack on Titan. Like, they are trying their best, and I appreciate it, because I love the Attack on Titan story. Chapter 138 and chapter 139, the final 2 chapters in the manga are about to release, I think, next month, or chapter 138 is next month.
Yeah, they next month, and then April is the last chapter, which is like fucking ridiculous. It's so crazy to think that it's so close right now, but I just want Matt to catch up so we can fucking talk about it. See, now I know you like it too. It's like fuck. But
yeah, I've been on top of that. I'm actually forcing my girlfriend to watch it right now too. She's in season 3 right now. I've just watched that much with her. Yeah.
Feel free to invite her to the podcast.
All right.
We need female energy.
We need female energy. Yeah, I'll just get like get it set up here, get another chair in here, and be like, all right, we're gonna just talk about this.
It works.
This is the episode where we spoil Matt on every single episode of Attack on Titan. No.
It's been so hard for me not to spoil everything for her. I want to tell her everything, but now she's caught up enough that it's okay. But she doesn't know what's happening in season 4, and I think she's really gonna like it when we get there.
Where's she?
She's in season 3. I think we're on episode 5 or 6.
Way past.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're making our way steadily through there.
Once she gets to part 2 of season 3, that is so fucking stupidly good, dude. Like, obviously.
Yeah. Who's your favorite voice actor in AOT?
Oh, come on. I bet you already know what I'm thinking. You probably do, bro. Say it.
All right, my favorite voice actor is Commander Ervin.
Dude, oh my god, we're on the same fucking wavelength, dude. That is exactly what I was gonna say.
Commander Ervin, his voice actor is so good. It's crazy.
Dude. It's fucking beautiful.
Anytime he talks, I'm so there just like, hold on, I gotta change my underwear. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, for real. No, for real, dude. And okay, without spoiling Matt, okay, I won't say anything. I'll speak in vague terms.
Headphones, but hey.
No, you don't have to, because you have to hear the hype. You have to hear the hype, but not the contents, okay? So the fucking is your favorite scene also my favorite scene?
Is there's a lot of Commander Erwin scenes. I like the one.
I'm talking about the Irwin scene, like the big one.
Are you talking about in hold on, wait about it. I think where is it at? It's at the end of season 2, right? That one?
No, that's one of them. I'm talking about the Irwin's charge.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That is my favorite scene.
Is that in season 3?
Season 3, part 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No, I love like my favorite one is in the end of season 2, but I also love the one in season. Anytime that man talks, I'm like, all right, somebody write that down. Write that down. Right.
That's pretty much the feeling.
Write down the time skip. I gotta come back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, since we're so off topic, let's go ahead and end this shit.
Okay, let's go ahead. Say bye, Ty. Thanks for watching.
Yep. See ya. See ya, guys.
I love how
listening.
enthusiastic Ty is at the end of these.
No, that wasn't enthusiastic.